Hey everybody, I have a layout to share with you. I have some papers from ABstudio. This is a diary collection. It's super gorgeous. And I purchased mine from My Rusty Crown. They are from Poland, so they are a little bit hard to get to get a hold of, but My Rusty Crown has them and Martina is amazing. She has great shipping, great prices. She's just super nice. So be sure to check her store out. And find a lot of products from Poland, especially like All and Create, ABstudio, and some chipboard companies and different things like that. And all of the supplies will be listed in the description box down below. So be sure to check it out if you are wanting any of the products that I share. All right, so I am actually... So it's kind of weird, but she had shipped the papers in between two cardboards, which is amazing, so they don't get bent or anything like that. But I was so inspired by the cardboard, I thought, I haven't worked with cardboard in a long time. I'm going to use this in a project. And I decided to use it for this layout. I know it's a little bit weird to be inspired by cardboard, but hey, it worked. And I have been in such a creative rut lately that I was just going to run with it. So I kind of tore off that top layer to show some of that corrugated cardboard. And then I'm going to rip some of that paper. And this particular paper is my absolute favorite. Paper from the collection. I'm trying to find the name of it, if it has a name. Let's see. It is Memories, sheet number 3. And it is so gorgeous. It has like the newsprint on top with some like reddish, maroonish colors. Oh, it's so beautiful. So I ripped the top off of that. I'm actually going to layer the part that I had ripped underneath the bottom portion, and I was just kind of placing to see if I liked it. And now I'm going to use some heavy gesso to paint this cardboard white. You can also use acrylic paint. I ended up having to use some distress spray, the Picket fence, the one that I absolutely love, to make it really white because the cardboard was just sucking in all of that gesso. I think probably because I watered it down a little bit, but I was being impatient and trying to make it go faster, which in turn made it go slower. So, and then I also wet the cardboard when I was ripping off the top layer, thinking that it was going to help, but it didn't. Just to let you guys know, it did not help in any way. Anyways, all right, so I am using some Fabri-Tac to glue down the paper, and I will add another layer of gesso and the Picket fence spray on top where the cardboard is. But right now I'm just letting it dry while I add the paper to the bottom portion of the cardboard. And I also wet the tops of those papers and kind of crinkled them down a little bit just to give it a little bit more interest. Now I am going to add some clear gesso, which I forgot that I had the heavy body or heavy white gesso on my brush already. So it kind of toned down the red a little bit, which in the end it looked okay, but I was a little bit worried and I almost went for another sheet of paper, which I'm glad that I just stuck with it because it dried pretty okay. I still would have liked the red to be a little bit more vibrant, but it's all right. Anyway, so I add clear gesso to the whole thing, and now I am adding some more of the Picket fence spray just to get that cardboard a little bit more white. And I love it, even though it dries with a little bit of like a gloss. It's not super glossy, but it's definitely not matte either. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to purchase it and use it. All right, so I am going to emboss this chipboard piece with some superfine white embossing powder. And I did change my mind on the chipboard piece. So at first I wanted that big swirl that's on the layout already. And then I changed my mind to this one. And I almost put both of them together. Like I almost put this one on top of the photo and then that big swirl underneath of the photo. But then I just went with this wonky, like circle-y one. I don't even know what to call it, but like overlapping circles, I guess. It's a really nice chipboard piece, and it comes in tons of different sizes. All right, here is some, I believe this is embossing paste from Altenew. It's just their version of modeling paste. I was a little confused when I first got it. I'm like, what do I have to do with this? Heat it or what? But it's just their version of modeling paste. I am using a Finnebear stencil, and I believe this one is called Tapestry, which is amazing. So I had this idea in my head that I wanted the focal point to be kind of in the center and then have like lots of flowers coming down and then a little bit towards the right side of the layout. And I kind of changed it a little bit, but I love this design so much I didn't mind having it peeking out more than I had anticipated. And the spatula I'm using is from Tonic Studios. It is my most favorite. It's amazing. I love it. It's so comfortable in my hand, and it's just super easy to clean. And people ask me all the time if I prefer it over the Finnebear spatula, and I do. I love both, but Tonic Studio, the Nouveau one, is by far my favorite. All right, so I let that dry, and now I'm going in with a stamp from All & Create, and this is a stamp set designed by Olga. Hey girl, I just wanted to give her a little shout out. And it is amazing stamp set, just to add a little bit of texture in there. And I'm using Altenew's black ink, and it's really great for mixed media because you don't have to worry about any sprays or inks or water making the ink run, so, or like bleed or anything. All right, so I'm just kind of adding a little bit more texture there. And then I'm going in with the Picket Fence Distress Spray, kind of adding some splatters. I was a little bit stuck at this point, so I was trying to figure out what I can do to get my creative juices going again so that I can finish this layout. So of course, splatters. I love splatters. You guys know this. I don't know if I do any projects without splatters. All right, so Dress My Craft had sent me Shalini. I hope I'm saying her name right. She is the sweetest person in the world. So if you're watching this, hi, how are you? Thank you so much for sending me all of these wonderful goodies. I wanted to use this banner punch, and it's super easy to use. I didn't even do the right size that it shows on the punch, and it turned out great. So I punched both sides to make a fishtail and then cut it in half so that I can get a little bit of banner action going on my layout. All right, then it hit me that I wanted to use this stamp set from Altenew. It is the Pen Sketched Flowers or Pen Sketched Florals, and it is an amazing stamp set. And you could see that you don't necessarily have to be able to color perfectly or anything like that to get floral stamp sets. I'm just using some of the pattern paper from ABstudio from the diary collection, and I am going to be using some VersaMark ink to stamp it with, and I do it twice. I stamp it twice, I'm sorry, so that I'm making sure that it is really juicy and so that the embossing powder can really stick to the image. And I use Brutus Monroe Raven Black embossing powder. And I don't know if it's user error or if it's just not as fine as the Ranger embossing powder. But it just did not want to stick very well to the images. But it is the blackest black embossing powder that I have found. So I just went with it, and I didn't worry if there was just a little bit areas that weren't perfect because it was super black. I have some other black embossing powders that are a little bit more brown, and then a little bit gray on the gray side. So I really wanted something that is black. So if you're looking for a really black embossing powder, the Brutus Monroe one is your go-to. And thank you, Jess, so much from A Card Day's Work for suggesting that to me, because I did ask her which one she uses. All right, so I cut those out by hand. I did not purchase the die set that goes along with it, which I wish I would have. But now that the project is over, I'm like, yes, I saved, I think it's $30 die set. So while I'm cutting a lot of the images out, I regret not purchasing the die set, but then when I'm done, I'm like, yeah, I could get something else now. Like, that wasn't too bad. Anyways, all right, so I am going to start playing around with placement here. I'm a little chatty today. I'm not sure why. And as you could see, these floral images are just so gorgeous on that paper. And I continue just to play around with placement, to be honest, and I kept a lot of it in, which I normally would edit out, but I know that a lot of people like seeing kind of how I shift things around and move things around like I'm doing here and that sort of thing. So I left it all in. I am going to play some music because I don't really have anything much else to say. So I will be back when I need to explain another step. right, so we are done with placement on all of the embellishments, and I did add a little bit more splatters with the Picket fence spray. All right, so now I'm going to add a little bit of color with a chalk edger from Prima. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure if you can get these still. I've had these for quite a few years and they are still pretty juicy. One was a little bit dried up and I added a little bit of water and the color just came right back. So they are amazing to have. I love them to watercolor with or whatever, and I'm trying to use different things that I haven't used for quite some time because I keep purchasing new things and forgetting about the old, which I need to stop doing that. So I tried to pull something old in on this layout with this brand new paper from ABstudio. So maybe that could be a little bit of a challenge. So if you want, I don't think there's going to be a prize or anything, but just to maybe give you guys a little bit of inspiration or something that to work on. If you have something new, pull in something old as well, just to mix it up a bit, and tag me on Instagram or Facebook, and I would love to see it. Maybe, who knows, if we get enough people to join in, maybe I will pick a random winner. I think it would be fun actually to do something like that. All right, so I added a little bit of color to the flowers, and again, I am using the chalk edger just in a pink pastel. I believe that's the color, is pink pastel. And now I'm going to add some splatters with the chalk edger. And let's see, what's next? What's next? I don't know. I forget what's next. Oh, more splatters. What's new? Lots of splatters with the Picket fence spray. And let's see. I think that's going to complete the layout. I did add some stickers from Tim Holtz, and then also a chipboard word. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but the Remember This is from a different pack of word or sentiments from Tim Holtz as well. And I absolutely love how this turned out. There's a little bit of a close-up for you guys. Here is some still photos so you guys can get a closer look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I truly appreciate it. And please share it with your friends. It would mean so much to me. Also, leave me a comment down below. I love reading them. And if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified every time that I upload a video. And thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.